Hello there. My name is Murray. I'm accompanied by co-host Corey. We are The Real Guys, and this is The Real Show with two E's. Today we will be recovering actually, MsMarvel, the new Disney Plus Marvel MCU TV show, and for the second half of this episode, we will be actually covering Marvel's SDCC, that is San Diego Comic-Con's reveals, and their latest shows, their latest phases, and their entire sort of panel in Hall H down in San Diego. But as always, I'm accompanied by my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good, it's nice to hear you. It's nice to see you today. It's also nice to see you on a video version. That's
Yes.
right. We're also doing a video version of this podcast, this program, this radio program for everyone that's listening and everyone that's watching at home. Hello, how are you doing? So if you want to tune into us at The Real Show YouTube channel, that is The Real Show with two E's, and show, you can listen and watch at the same time. Watch our lovely mouths move. Watch us gesticulate. Watch us articulate. Everything.
I'm glad you can spell the channel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you can spell the channel as well, Corey.
Yes.
But what we'll be covering today is exactly what I just explained.
Exactly, yeah.
It's one half MsMarvel,
Yep.
one half Marvel at SDCC.
Exactly.
So let's kick off with MsMarvel, shall we? So, Corey, you tuned into the last few episodes.
Correct.
We watched the first one, we reviewed that. You can watch that review if you like. It's also on our YouTube channel.
It is.
We reviewed the first episode, we often do,
Yep.
and now we'll review the rest of the episodes.
Exactly. So we're probably not going to cover much of the first episode in this.
No,
so we've already
done
talked
that.
about it.
Yeah.
And also, because we're doing Comic-Con, we've got to do this a bit shorter, a bit quicker.
Yeah, a bit quicker. We're on a bit of a time crunch here, ladies and
This
gentlemen.
is probably going to end up being a little bit more less linear, more just, this was good, this was good, this was good.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than episodic breakdowns. So, as I often always ask when I've got no other things to think about to ask, anyway you want to start in particular?
Right, okay. Why don't we start with the characters that we meet on this
Would be a good
journey
place.
in MsMarvel? Yes. Of course, the biggest character, probably the biggest shining star out of this entire thing, is Kamala Khan.
Yes.
Of MsMarvel. Inman Vellani, who does an amazing job. I can't sing her praises enough. Probably because I've got a little surprise for you after this segment.
Okay.
It's not the weekly rec.
Yeah.
It's just something that you could check out on your own time.
Yeah.
Right, okay. However, but I'll save that little surprise for later. A lot of surprises in this episode. I think we've got three big surprises, I think. Which is the weekly rec at the end.
Yeah.
Your sort of a surprise.
Yeah.
And my surprise as well.
Yeah.
Right. But a lot of surprises. Are you ready to be surprised this episode, Corey?
I'm ready to be surprised.
You're ready to be surprised?
Always ready to be surprised.
But Kamala Khan has the bangle of her family, and it gives her the special power to control light. What do they call it? She can kind of shoot light and use the veil, as they say. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
She can control the veil of the Nur, I think. Is that what it's also called?
Yeah. Trying to see if it says it anyway.
Yeah. She can control the Nur and throw it around, create discs, jump up and down, and jump from light disc to light disc.
Yes.
And I love that effect. I like the colours and the way the colours sort of spread from the sort of the orange to the purple and the blue. I like that colour scheme.
I mean, it's one thing we've kind of touched on in the first episode as well. The I guess appearance, the visuals of the show, the look of the show is
the bright show.
It's really good.
Yeah. I like the bright and light feeling this show has. Not only in its art style, which we do actually return to in the finale.
Yes.
When she's explaining the plan to distract damage control away from the school, we get that art style returning after it's sort of gone for a couple of episodes. And the main crux of the finale is that she's returned from. She goes back to the place of her family, and she meets her grandmother, and there she actually learns about her great grandmother who had this special bangle.
Yeah. I mean, it was again trying to think of other MCU shorts, TV shorts, whatever you want to call them, mini-series, that's the word I was looking for. I feel like sometimes when it comes to the other ones, finales can sometimes fall a bit flat.
Yes.
Right? Loki was an alright series, the finale wasn't great. Moonlight was alright, but I think that's again because it kind of has to leave the door open a bit to a second potential series. I, to be fair, didn't mind this one. as an ending. I thought it was alright. I thought it was quite good, which is nice to see a series actually end quite well.
But of course, Kamala is faced with the clandestines,
Yes.
who were a race of jinns from the Noor dimension or the Nur dimension.
Yep.
Which is actually a place in Islamic context.
Yes. We see this appearing again.
Yes.
Which is what MCU seems to be doing now, which is bringing in different things from different...
like Moon Knight especially.
Yeah. Either different religions or different beliefs and
yes.
putting them in.
And we saw the jinns were equivalent to some genies.
Yes.
Who arrive and who have been around for thousands of years and have come to find the bangle that Kamala has that sort of unlocks her inner power to give her the powers of MsMarvel.
Yes.
And we have 5 of these clandestines who are hunting her down, so that she has to go back to Karachi, back in Pakistan, to meet with her family and to unlock the secrets of her ancestors.
Yeah, and I don't know, it was good. It was good. But the story in this, because, and again we touched on it in the first episode, because Kamala Khan is a new character, not only in terms of the MCU, and this is her first time being introduced, and like most of the cast, if not all the cast, are original and aren't in the MCU before. It's
Apart
a good...
from 2.
Yeah. It's one of them we talked about in the first episode.
Yes.
It's a good story, and it kind of really helps to introduce her. She's also new. Like I said before, I didn't really know who MsMarvel was. Comic-wise, I had no clue. With Moon Knight, I knew who Moon Knight was. With other various Defender stuff, which we'll get onto a bit later, I knew who they were, like Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. I didn't know who MsMarvel was. And I feel like this whole series as a whole is really good at introducing her as a character as well. And the other kind of people we see appearing along the way, and her friends and various kind of different stuff. Also, I was aware that her powers were changed for the MCU, and I feel like this is pretty good. I think it's a pretty good fit. Obviously, again, we'll go into a bit later, the reason why her powers had to be changed.
So, back in Pakistan,
yes,
where she is with her family,
correct,
she meets Kareem, who is a member of the Red Dagger vigilante group who fights against the power of the clandestines. And she gets to train with her light powers in their secret hideout.
Yeah.
But she's attacked and she's on the run.
Yes.
So she has to run through the city. And by the way, this is shot wonderfully.
It's very good.
Cinematography is really well to show the great city of Karachi. I think it's Karachi. I don't want to mispronounce it.
Yeah.
And even down on the streets, I love that. I'm a really big fan of when they're, especially how they shot that action scene where she's running through the street, she's jumping over carts, and she's like tumbling and rolling. I quite like that, and especially when they're doing all the parkour. You know, parkour. I'm a fan of parkour. So
it's a really good kind of. I like when Marvel does stuff like that. Kenobi kind of did it with the whole chase scene with Reva, kind of. Not to the same extent, but again, this series visually is great.
Yes.
And the way it looks and the way it flows and the way it kind of our view through everything going around is really good. But no, the ending's good. I like how we skipped.
Yes.
to the final.
To the episodes, yeah. Because I feel like many. I don't want to. This isn't a general criticism of Disney Plus Marvel shows. Yeah. But the middle of the season is never really a place you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 2 and 3 kind of breezes by because you're like, well, you know, they leave the finale on a high, and you're like, wow, and then in episodes 2 and 3, it's like, oh well, having to deal with it. Okay, there are these clandestines, and they're the enemies, and they're going to go after her, and then. Oh, she's getting to use with her powers, and she's saving that boy. You know, she saves the boy who slips off the balcony, and.
I mean, this is also the other thing with this series is, other than, unlike most other kind of heroes where you have like, I mean, I don't know how old they are, but obviously like Captain America, Iron Man, Thor are all older. Kamala's, I think,
adults.
16.
She's supposed to be.
Yeah. And so it's a bit different when you got this like young person who's discovering who she is and her heritage and stuff, and now she's got all these powers. Kind of like Spider-Man in a way, whereas if you're a bit younger and you're kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I felt that Spider-Man vibe. You know, now that you mention it, I felt that Spider-Man vibe, especially that Tom Holland-ness of how we're still kind of learning. Oh, there's someone slipping off a balcony. Guess I got to flip, got to save him. And it's I quite like that as well.
And it's like because now you're kind of being forced to forced to grow up
She's in
because you've
that-
got all these
yeah,
powers
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're kind of on the run. You
She
keep them
matures
hidden.
in that way, I feel like, especially in the last episode,
Yes.
where you see it with her parents, and she's trying to make this big announcement that
Yeah.
hey, she's Nightlight, as she was
Yeah.
called, or whatever her name was, or Mrs. Light, or whatever her name was. But she tries to make this big announcement. She's like, "Okay, guys, I need you to sit around because I want to tell you something very important." She's like, "Right, we already know that you're this superhero, you know, and that it spreads fast, and her brother already knows about it, and at her brother's wedding and stuff, because she accidentally ruined that by you know, letting all these supernatural beings come in and attack her."
That's the other thing. The family aspect to this whole thing is
very
really
strong.
good.
I feel like there were moments in this where I feel like the her mother, whoever plays her mother, did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Because there was a point where they have real chemistry together. Especially when they sat together and her grandmother's going, "Oh, your mum, she used to be a real rebel. She used to be a real..." Like, as much as I don't really like that, there's a Netflix film called Moxie, if you've watched it.
I have not.
That does quite a similar thing to this, where it's like, oh, the young girl is like, "Oh, mum, you're such a stickler. You're such a stern woman for the rules." But it's like, "Oh, you didn't know me in my heyday. I used to be a real punk rocker girl, you know." And it was kind of like this. And as much as I cringe at something like that, I was like, well, this is done in a very family and very respectful way, and I appreciate that. And sometimes you've got to look through your parents' eyes, and I appreciate that as well. I really enjoy looking at family dynamics in that way, because her mother seems to soften as the series goes, and I felt that was natural.
Yes.
In the first episode, you were like, "Oh, she's a really stern mother." She's like, "You will go out, you will come back, and you will go out when I say, and you will follow you will step my line." And now there's a lot more of sort of loving, and it's less sort of hard protection and more warmness.
Yes, it's that classic film trope where parents don't be overprotective.
No, you've got to learn to let go.
Yes.
She admits that herself, and I appreciate that referential. That referential realization in, you know, sometimes you hold too tight to something, you're not ready to let it go.
Yeah.
And sometimes holding too tight does more damage than what letting go does.
It's one of those things where, because in some series and some films, the main character will be the focus, obviously, and then her backstory or people around her are kind of forgotten about when it comes to story and when it comes to plot and stuff like that. But if you do it well, and if you kind of establish these people, like her mum, her dad, her brother, it's really well for the character in later on, because first off, it's the first time seeing her and she's young. You would assume she'll probably be sticking around the MCU for a while.
Yes.
And so it's good to have that back. But also it allows for, like, if her dad appears at a later point, or her mum or whatever in other films, we know who they are.
We will see.
Yeah, like we know who they are.
Yes.
We have a connection to them already.
Another person who we know who they are.
Correct, go for it.
Is the cameo at the end of the series, after she saved all of her friends and had a sort of love/boyfriend. Are they sort of in a relationship? No.
I don't know.
Cameron, no. Anyway, she sends Cameron away because he's a clandestine, and they sort of protected him, and he's been filled with this power, and he can't control it.
Yeah.
But she, in this great, and I love that scene where they're both under the dome.
Yeah.
They're both under the light dome, and they're all being shot at, and she's trying to control, and she's trying to, you know, snap him back out of it, and I really like that.
Yes.
Also, I realised when I was watching it, how hard must that be to film?
Yeah.
Because you don't know, nothing is going on around you, or there's green, and you're like, you've got to come back to the light. I've got to save you, and what's happening around you is nothing.
Yeah.
But then in post, it looks great.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
So the effects are amazing in post. But at the time, it's like the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
You know, what exactly am I waving this lightsaber at? You know, some kind of giant droid.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it's a good scene.
Yes, it is.
And after that all happens, she's on her bed and she's like, "Oh, I'm MsMarvel. I'm really tired." And then her bangle starts to shake and emit with light when she was transported back in time.
Yes.
When she went back to 1942, back to India. So her bangle's shaking. She's like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And suddenly she's like, she's thrust backwards into a cupboard or something. I honestly thought she went through the door into the hallway. No, she goes into her cupboard where all her clothes are. And then who pops out?
It's what's Carol Danvers.
It's Carol Danvers. It's Brie Larson.
Yeah.
It's Captain Marvel turning up for a cameo in the series.
It is.
So we don't know whether they've
Yeah.
switched places. Because people on the internet assumed that Kamala Khan had become Carol Danvers. And I was like, well, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
They've swapped, I think.
I mean, I know Wikipedia says they switched places.
Yes, that's
but
what I think as well.
Yeah.
That was my natural assumption.
Yeah.
That Kamala Khan has disappeared to wherever Captain Marvel was, and Captain Marvel has appeared where Kamala Khan is. That's why she reacts so strangely to her room being effectively about herself.
I was going to say.
And she's like, what's this?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting to see where it goes. I mean, obviously because we got all the whole like. Again, we'll talk about later. We've got the whole multiverse stuff going on, and all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming it will tie into that.
Yes, that's what I think as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it leaves it open, which is what Marvel does, and does it well. Where it will end on like a somewhat cliffhanger of where's it going to go, and then people theorize, and then it gets people talking about it.
We'll come back in the Marvels, which we will speak about very soon.
Yeah.
But shout out to some other people in this series who I like to see. We've got Bruno.
Yep.
Bruno Corelli, who does really well as the sort of the psychic. The guy in the chair, he's born guy in the chair. Look at him. He's got that guy in the chair look about him. As a sort of tech whiz who wants to help out and wants to be, really friendly. I did like that time where Cameron and Kamala are hiding behind that desk in the finale. And he sort of third wheels it. He comes in out the side, says, "Don't worry, I'll distract them." He goes, "Hey guys, heavily armed SWAT soldiers, do you want to come and see me dance and whatever?" And they just clock him in the face with a rifle. That was quite funny to me. Then we have Nakia, who is also a standout character for me.
Yep.
Another friend of Kamala, who has that really independent and intuitive side to her. As she finds out, she's like, "What, you told everybody and you didn't tell me, your best friend?" I quite like that aside. And I always like the reveal of the superhero to their best friend. That happens quite a lot, even in the Defenders show, like you mentioned. Happened in Daredevil and things like that. Where you finally see the close friend of the hero, who's been the close friend for so long, and doesn't know they're a hero, but finds out they are that superhero. And that's the moment, that's the click moment that I quite like.
Yes.
Then we have the husband,
correct,
and father,
yes,
Yusuf,
who
is another really. He's got that dad energy.
He has got that energy,
especially when he comes out the window in the finale and he's like, "This is really high. I don't want to fall down here." It's like she's been sat up there for how long?
Yeah,
and you're not worried, but as soon as you step on the balcony, you're worried. Like that is pure dad energy, and it's just really warm. He's caring, he's compassionate, and he tries to help. He's that guy who does his best to help out. And even when they arrive, when she's in that great battle, and he's always like, "Oh, he's trying to get her," but she's doing that whole superhero CGI laser fight.
No, but that's really good. I think family member wise, I think he's my favourite.
Yeah. He has that sort of goofy dad feeling about him where he's doing his best, but it's but this is like far beyond his what he can do. And I always appreciate where you get the sort of common man in that kind of situation where it's like, I don't know what to do here. So he's kind of helpless in that way, but it's funny. Then we have Amir, who's Kamala's older brother, who recently got married and is having that whole arc for himself. So he's kind of aloof and maybe not as funny as you think he is sometimes, but he still carries that big brother feeling about him.
Yeah.
And then we have some of the friends of her school. Zoe, who's kind of like the popular posh girl of the school. She's got the successful TikTok or Instagram or whatever it was it? I think it was TikTok.
I think it was TikTok, yeah.
Okay. She's got the successful TikTok account and she spreads the word on Nightlight or on MsMarvel as she's later known because Kamala's name means perfect, doesn't it? And then it means Marvel later in the series. So then we find out that, of course, we have Department of Damage Control, which was set up in Spider-Man Homecoming by Tony Stark to sort of clear up all the superhero business. And then we have a couple of agents from Department of Damage Control, a main female agent, and then another one, Agent Cleary, who also appears in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Correct.
So there we go. And he's the second MCU character to appear in something else.
Yeah.
It's him and Carol Danvers. So there we go. And then we have members of the Red Daggers. We have Kareem, who I feel like they were established to appear later or appear in something else. There was a lot of stuff dedicated to them. And I feel like just for one series, if MsMarvel gets another series, I feel like we could be seeing them a lot more.
I don't know if it will.
Really?
It might do, but I feel like every miniseries that's coming out is just going to get another one.
Right, okay.
Because I think Loki's getting another one.
Yes.
Moon Knight's getting another one. Falcon Winter Soldier is technically getting another one.
Yep.
I don't think Hawkeye is, but everyone else is, so it could happen. I don't know. To be fair, I wouldn't complain if there was another one. Like, I'm not saying I don't want one, but
And we have a couple of nice, good cameos in this series. If I can just take
Go
a
for it.
minute to
list them
play
off.
them. Ryan Paganos, who is the vice president and creative executive at Marvel New Media,
Nice.
has a cameo as their guy in charge of the cosplay competition at AvengerCon. Renowned TikToker Willow Wilson
Okay.
who plays herself in the TikTok sequence.
Yep.
And then, of course, the biggest cameo is obviously Carol Danvers,
Yes.
Brie Larson. And speaking of interesting cameos,
Yes.
we have a couple of things. Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'm sure I've spoken reams about Inman Vellani and how good of an actress she is and how much I like her, right?
Yeah.
Not only does she have a very successful Letterboxd account, she also has a very successful Reddit account.
Oh, God.
Now, and she's not only has she done several comments and posts on Reddit just before she was an actress, which is funny enough. She just recently did an AMA and Ask Me Anything on the r/Marvel Studios Reddit. No, they had.
Try again.
She did recently an AMA and Ask Me Anything on r/Marvel Studios
Yes.
thread on Reddit.
There you go.
And
It's fine. We'll cut the other one out.
Yeah. Just fix it in post.
Yeah.
But what I will employ you to look at is find that thread and read it, because she really gives a lot of insight of what's it like dealing with Kevin Feige, what's it like dealing with the Marvel sequence, and she's really funny and really witty, and I'd love to read some of her comments out. Maybe we will someday if we have time. But yeah, that is maybe the end of this episode. If we've got a few minutes left, I'll pull it up and we'll do some reading after the rec. How about that?
That makes sense.
But yeah, please go and find that AMA, that Ask Me Anything, from Inman Vellani, who plays Kamala Khan in MsMarvel. But speaking of great cameos, I've used that segue twice now.
You have.
So I think I can't use it again.
Nope.
Speaking of great cameos, during our first episode,
Yes.
Corey, maybe you'd like to explain this
Yeah.
slightly.
So our first MsMarvel, episode 1, it got to the point where it was a weekly rec. It was my rec. It's Murray's rec this week, but it was my rec. And I picked Nuv the Poet.
Yes, renowned TikTok and spoken word artist.
Exactly.
Nuv the Poet.
Who did a lot of videos on TikTok every single episode of
Who is a
MsMarvel.
man of the Sikh religion,
Correct.
Muslim, and
He is a Sikh, and he was very vocal about MsMarvel and what he liked about MsMarvel.
representation and all of that.
Yep. So I messaged him
Reached back out to him.
for a second time, asked him if he had any thoughts on the series, if he liked the series, and if he about representation. He replied back saying he has a lot of thoughts about the series.
Right, okay.
And said, "Do you mind if I send it in voice notes?" So I've got 4.
And you said yes.
I said yes.
Right.
So I have 4 voice notes from Instagram
Right.
from Nuv the Poet.
Okay, well let's play them and let's see what Nuv thinks.
Hi. Yes, I do believe the show is important when it comes to representation because of how it does it. Now, I'm not Muslim or Pakistani. I'm Sikh and Indian, Punjabi, whatever. That's the whole thing. Ignore that part. But there's a lot of similarities between the cultures, South Asia as a whole, and there's similarities with the faiths as well. The point is that even though it doesn't, display my specific culture, there are a lot of similarities, and I resonate with them, and it's done so well. And the way that I've like assessed it being done well is there's such a focus on a lot of the details of within the show that people who aren't part of the community wouldn't think to include in the episodes. For example, people could find, names of popular Bollywood films that were talked about in like episode 2, but things like, the shoes being taken in episode 3 as part of a wedding tradition. That's a common South Asian wedding tradition where the groom's shoes will be stolen by the bride's side, and then the groom has to essentially like bargain for them back with the bride's family and like friends and everything like that. That's a tradition that has, to my knowledge, never been showcased in Western media. And so it's things like these, and there are even smaller details that do this even better, but the point is that there's such a focus on that. It's not just saying like, hey, she is Muslim and she is Pakistani. Like, they show her everyday life and the way that her culture and her religion play into or factor into the way she lives her life. And another huge part of it is, again, even though I'm not Muslim, I am Sikh, I wear a turban and I have my beard. And so that image, right, has been associated with a lot of negative stereotypes in Western media. And one of my favorite aspects of the show was in episode 3, again, during the wedding. Like, I'm not super familiar with the ceremony, again, because it's different religions, but the part where once the Amir, Kamal's brother, and Taisha, his wife, get married, everybody responds, Allahu Akbar. And like that phrase, I don't think it's ever been used in a positive manner, in a celebratory manner in Western media. It's always used negatively and by a terrorist character or something. And like, it just shows the culture in a more accurate and a positive light. And it's huge. Like, the significance of that is huge. And so for me personally, with elements like that and the discussion of, with Nakia, Kamal's friend, of her maintaining her identity and adhering to certain aspects of the faith, that also resonates with me because I do my best to practice my faith, and I'm really into it. I put a lot of focus on how I live my life in accordance with my faith, and yeah, just like a Muslim woman wearing a hijab, as a Sikh man wearing a turban, like there's a difference of how our lives are when we go out in public and we exist amongst society. And so her story being told there, and just like the overall story, even like the Muslim story and them being targeted because of, who they are, it resonates with me so much. I don't even know if I can really put it into words.
Yep. There's his words, there's his thoughts.
Thank you very much. Shout out to you, Nov the Poet.
Yes.
On Twitter, TikTok,
Instagram.
All of the
Social
that's
medias.
Yeah,
YouTube.
We'll link them. YouTube, yeah. We'll put a link in the description if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're listening to us, that was his thoughts. That was Nov the Poet. Basically, we can now call a friend of the show.
Yes.
He's now called a friend of the show.
He's there. There he is.
Shout out to him. So, as the second part of this episode,
yes,
will be not dedicated to MsMarvel. However, we will indeed give MsMarvel a weekly rec, as we often do. The weekly rec, of course, last week was Nov the Poet, but in terms of a real rating and not a weekly rec,
yes,
we will give MsMarvel a real rating.
Yes.
So, would you like to go first?
Yeah.
You're going to rate this against all the other MCU shows, or are you going to try and give it a own?
I think at this point I'm losing track of what I gave all the other shows. I liked MsMarvel, and I liked the visuals of MsMarvel. I think an 8, maybe an 8.5.
Right, okay. I will give it a 7.5.
Okay, I'll give it an 8. I think 8.5 and a good.
I feel like it's not as high. I feel like it's higher than I probably gave Loki. I probably gave Loki a 7 or a 6.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's right around maybe Captain. I'm gonna say Captain America and Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I always do that.
You do.
Because there's a film called Captain America and Winter Soldier.
There is.
But it's Falcon Winter Soldier levels, I'd say. Probably around there.
Yeah, I'd agree on that. Maybe
closer to maybe Moon Knight or something, but far beyond. I feel like the way it captured, as Nov the Poet said, if we could use first name basis.
Yes.
As Nov said, it was the way it captured the religion, the way it captured the culture, the way it really showed large Western audiences what this is like. What life as a Pakistani American is like. Then I can, give it all the praise in the world for that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is our real rating for MsMarvel, and let's move on to Marvel's SDCC news. Now, San Diego Comic-Con, or SDCC as the kids call it, is one of the largest events in the country for all the studios. Pull out the big stops: Warner Brothers, Universal Pictures, Marvel, Disney, and Star Wars, and everyone all come with their big guns, with their big trailers to show in the famous Hall H panel.
Correct.
Right. And Marvel have done no different, as always. Kevin Feige has taken the stage with casts of the newest films to unleash and announce all of the newest IPs and properties that will be coming out over the next few years.
Correct.
Including the next 2 phases of the MCU. Yeah. We are currently leaving Phase 4 and moving into Phase 5 and 6.
Yes.
So let's break it down, I've got a list here of everything that was announced. I'm
Go
sure you
for
have
it.
as well.
I've got to say,
And
Michael.
we'll go through them as well. Coming in on August 17th is Marvel Studios' She-Hulk Attorney at Law,
Yes.
which we spoke on last time we talked about Ms. Marvel.
Yes,
So
we
we won't
did.
talk that much about it. Just a new series with the new She-Hulk character, Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo's back.
Yes.
Emil Blonsky. We've got we have the Abomination returning as well.
Yep.
So that should be a good new series to basically come in where Ms. Marvel sort of left off.
Yeah.
Because, we can't have time without a new Marvel series. So we've got Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel has just finished, and now She-Hulk will soon begin.
Exactly.
On August 17th. Then in spring of 2023, we have Secret Invasion,
Yeah.
which is arriving. What do you know of Secret Invasion?
I don't know much. Again, this is kind of a Miss Marvel thing. All I'm aware of when it comes to Secret Invasion that I can't remember if it's Kevin Feige, someone who's working on this has apparently wanted to work on a Secret Invasion for ages. I'm aware it's a series of comics, and I'm aware that there's different iterations of the Secret Invasion series. And I'm aware there's one that came out, I think it was like 2017, which had like the New Avengers-ish, which is similar to where the MCU is now, and I think everyone's saying it's going to kind of take that kind of that comics interpretation of it on. Other than that, I don't know much about it at all.
Yes.
It's completely new for me.
So, apart from that we have Secret Invasion. I feel like that's going to face around the Skrull crisis with Ben Mendelsohn's Talos and Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury. And
Yes.
apparently, Colby Smulders is listed for Maria Hill and all that sort of thing. So I think I'll face around S.H.I.E.L.D. Apparently, Emilia Clarke has a role. Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke.
That makes sense.
Should be in it as well. Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Correct.
Which has got a brand new logo.
Yep.
To hype its new May 5th, 2023 release.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Chris Pratt, that's Zoe Saldana, that's Dave the Animal Bautista.
Correct.
That's Groot,
Yep.
back again, Vin Diesel.
Yep.
We've got Bradley Cooper, that's his name,
There
sorry,
you
Bradley
are.
Cooper, Rocket the Raccoon coming in as well. So we don't know whether Thor might feature in that, possibly, after Love and Thunder, maybe.
Probably.
Then, hitting Disney Plus on summer 2023, Loki Season 2.
Yep.
They've been filming for it. Tom Hiddleston's been out in his Loki wig, going around. We've got Kang as the new
Correct.
villain showing up. So, there we have that, Loki Season 2. A great announcement, I think. Blade has also been announced for a new film with Blade
Yes.
for November 3rd, 2023.
Yep.
Are you a fan of Blade?
So I've not seen the original Blade, Wesley Snipes. Not seen it. I've seen bits, and I know that it's very much.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Mahershala Ali, House of Cards.
I'm
Kit
aware.
Harington returning as his character from Eternals.
I'm aware that it's very much a kind of cult favorite in the MCU.
Yes.
And it's got very big boots to fill, essentially. I'll look out for it. I think because I've heard everyone go, I want a Blade movie.
Yes.
This is who I want as Blade. This person should play Blade.
I feel like Mahershala Ali's a good pick.
Yeah. Because of that, I'm looking forward to it because there's other people who are like, yeah, Blade's going to be good. Blade's going to be good. Also, it's a guy who's hunting down vampires.
Yeah, Vampire Hunter.
Exactly.
Now, the next property, another series landing on Disney Plus, summer 2023 again, is Echo.
Yeah.
Now, this was based off the Hawkeye character played by, I'm going to try and butcher her name, Aliqua Cox, who played her, no relation to Charlie Cox, I don't think, who played Echo in Hawkeye. So we should see her return, obviously, to head this series, along with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, who will be appearing in something a bit later. So, yeah, should be good for that series. Nice to spring off on that. Next, Disney Plus in fall 2023, another series, Marvel Studios Ironheart.
Yeah.
Based off, I believe they showed footage of this, which showed Colonel Rhodey Don Cheadle back in this as well.
Yes.
What do you know of Ironheart?
Ironheart is the young. Is that like is it different Iron Man, or is it one specific?
Yes. Dominique Thorne was the actress listed as Riri Williams or Ironheart, the new Iron Man.
I mean, I like Rhodey.
Yes, but
as
also
a character.
Also actors. Alden Ehrenreich, fan of him. He's be showing up in the series as well. Lyric Ross.
I mean, I'll check it out. It's one of those ones where I don't know much about it,
Mm.
but like I literally don't know anything about it. It's not like Blade where I don't really know anything about it, but I know what it is. Like this is completely new.
Winter 2023.
Yes.
Bringing the chill with the frost is Agatha, Coven of Chaos.
Yep.
Based off the Agatha Harkness character
Yeah.
in WandaVision.
Correct. Right. WandaVision was alright as a series.
Mm.
I thought Agatha as a character was okay. The
Yeah.
only thing that I'm interested in when it comes to this series is kind of similar to, I guess, Moon Knight and Miss Marvel and the Thor films. What are we going to do with the whole magic side of stuff? And are we going to bring anything in that's mythological? We're going to go to real life, like witchcraft or pagan practices or whatever, or we're just going to do it like Thor and just kind of take their own interpretation of stuff and do their own thing. I don't know. It'll probably be fun.
Of course, Catherine Hahn is back for that as well.
Yeah.
Who does really good, is basically amazing and everything. Really big fan of Catherine Hahn.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
Next film, jumping in on May 3rd, 2024, should be Captain America: New World Order.
Yep.
With Anthony Mackie.
Correct.
And Bucky Barnes, Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier, returning for Captain America: New World Order.
Yep.
So I don't know whether they're going to fight Hulk Hogan and Scott Hall.
Bit of Kevin Nash.
Bit of Kevin Nash. Are they going to fight the NWO? Who knows?
Maybe.
But yeah, that should be good. We all love a Captain America film. Every Captain America film has landed amazingly.
Yeah.
Captain America: First Avenger, Winter Soldier, the Civil War.
Yeah.
Civil War, amazing. So every Captain America film's just landed, and I feel like this one's going to land as well. Next is this got the big box. This got the pop at the panel. This got the cheer. Daredevil: Born Again.
Yep.
Showing on Disney Plus as spring 2024. Charlie Cox back. Of course, he was in Spider-Man.
He was.
No Way Home. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin just appeared in Hawkeye. So this is for this show. Apparently, cast members are signing on from Daredevil already. The guy that plays Foggy Nelson, don't know what his name is, bless him.
Yeah.
But the actor that plays Foggy Nelson has signed on. Hopefully, they get. Sorry, that's her name. Hopefully they get Deborah Ann Wall to come back. Hopefully they get the guy that plays Wesley. I know he's dead in the TV show, but I really like Wesley from the season 1 of Daredevil. So hopefully he comes back.
Yeah.
If he's alive, if it's a multiverse, just bring him back somehow. Because I really like that guy. Right. Anyway, and that should be amazing. I'm really hyped for the new Daredevil show to debut. July 26th, 2024, Thunderbolts.
Yes.
Which is a bit we don't really know that much about. Apart from the fact that maybe it was slated to have William Hurt's General Ross in it. Unfortunately, William Hurt's now passed away, but we're not really sure how that's supposed to go. So we'll see, really. Maybe it might be something with Red Hulk, something with Baron Zemo.
Possibly.
Something with... Red She-Hulk, because obviously Red Hulk is General Ross. But, that's got some affiliation with Daredevil. That's got some affiliation with, as I said, Taskmaster, Baron Zemo. They could do a lot of things with Thunderbolts. Almost like Marvel's answer to Suicide Squad, I could see that as.
Probably.
Then we have the Fantastic Four, November 8th, 2024. We don't know if John Krasinski is coming back for this.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to see John Krasinski. I'd happy to see John Krasinski's wife. I'd be happy to see The Thing and Flaming Torch, Doctor Doom turn up again. Okay, maybe we'll finally get a good Fantastic Four film.
Yeah.
Is it so hard to ask in 2022 for a good Fantastic Four film?
I've only seen like the first one.
Right.
Like
You've not seen Fan Four Stick?
No.
Oh, I've seen Fan Four Stick. I went to the cinema to see Fan Four Stick.
Which one is that again?
Fan Four Stick?
Yeah. That's not the Chris Evans one, is it?
No.
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 Yeah,
that's
no,
the
I've
Miles
not.
Teller.
I've not seen Fan Four Stick. No, I've only seen the Chris Evans one.
Okay, fair enough. But that should be amazing as well. I'm really happy for that. That should do great.
Yeah.
Next, we have Avengers films.
Yeah.
Avengers: The Kang Dynasty.
Yep.
On May 2nd, 2025, and Avengers: Secret Wars on November 2nd, 2025.
Yes.
Sorry, November 7th, 2025.
Yeah.
Both probably revolving around the new sort of Thanos character they're building, which is Kang.
Kang, yes.
Who debuted in Loki. So maybe that was a version of Kang. We don't know.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it could be the same one, could be
It's
different
known
ones.
to be. This is called the multiverse saga.
Exactly.
So they're calling it.
Yes.
Phases 1, 2, 3, and 4 were all known as the Infinity Saga, about the Infinity Stones and Thanos and all that. This is now the multiverse saga, around sort of the multiverse of madness and Loki and things like that. We're bringing in more of the multiverse, and that's why we're seeing all these characters and different portrayals. And now we have and all these Disney Plus shows that are focusing around the multiverse, like WandaVision and such. So this will be known as the multiverse saga. These next few phases, which should culminate in Avengers: The Kang Dynasty,
Exactly.
and in Secret Wars.
Yes. And then, well,
That's pretty much it.
yeah.
Oh wait, one thing.
Oh, yep.
Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever.
Yes. Yep.
That should be coming out. So I don't know if there's a date on that.
Where is it? I can't see a date.
Hold on, I'm looking. There was a trailer and the new look sort of released,
Yes.
and I did watch the trailer.
Oh, also.
November 11th.
There you go.
There we go.
Also, February 17th, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah, that was on the list. I did.
So many stuff got
I
announced.
skipped over it. I cannot believe I did that.
So much stuff got announced.
Exactly. So much stuff got announced. You can't. We can't even keep track of it here.
No.
But
Here's like 3 years of our plans. There you go.
yeah, exactly. Here's the next piece. DC bring out 2 films, and Marvel goes, "Here's our plan for the next 5 years."
Yeah.
Good luck getting a handle on this. So yeah, for Quantumania, of course, Paul Rudd and oh god, I've forgotten her name now.
So I.
Evangeline Lilly, there we
Yeah.
go. Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly are back in Quantumania. More multiverse shenanigans.
Exactly.
Bound to ensue. And yes, November 11th is the date for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
So there we go.
There we are.
But as for our weekly rec
Yes.
this week, I've talked a lot about it.
Yep.
It's related to something that was revealed at SDCC,
Okay.
and it is an episode of Daredevil.
Okay, I assume
It
that's
is
where you're going to go.
Daredevil Season 1, Episode 9, Speak of the Devil.
Okay.
And it is revolving around the battle between Matt Murdock and Nobu, a infamous Japanese gangster ninja. Wait, no, the Triad are Chinese. It's the Yakuza are Japanese, aren't they?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yes, the Yakuza gangster Nobu, and he is after the Daredevil, so it's their battle, and we get a bit of Kingpin, a bit
Correct.
of Foggy, a bit of Karen. It's a good episode, and I've picked it out for that.
Okay.
So that's my weekly rec, and I will give it a 7.
Strong.
Yes, a 7 out of 10 reels there.
Nice.
So that is my pick for our weekly rec.
It's pretty good.
And yeah, we have 3 things coming out of this.
Yes.
Technically we have 4. We have Marvel's SDCC Roundup
Yep.
2022. Get a look at that. Watch Daredevil Season 1, Episode 9, Speak of the Devil. Listen and watch some Nuv the Poet.
Yep.
And see what he's up to. And of course, look at Iman Vellani's AMA on Reddit. Ask me anything, because it's really funny.
Yes.
So that is what we have here. And we're bringing you some surprises next on The Real Show. A couple of unexpected things.
Yeah.
Things you're not going to be expecting to see.
We're stepping away from Marvel and
comics.
and
We're coming
Disney.
we're coming into realms unknown of the known universe.
Yeah.
So, do you want to drop a little teaser perhaps for the next episode?
I don't know. I don't know how to tease it.
We can say that the spice must flow.
Okay. See,
Okay,
I've
there we go.
I've not seen the thing
Okay,
yet.
well,
so
don't tease. Don't tease. Oh, that was up for a teaser I can give.
I can't tease it because I have not
Right.
seen it.
Well, we hope you enjoy what's coming up next on The Real Show. But
Yes.
for now, it's goodbye from me, goodbye, and a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye.